Hi friends, it is Laurel Snyder and I am here at my house in Atlanta and it is the first Friday for a lot of people of social distancing and it's kind of a crazy experience, isn't it? And tonight is Shabbat and I thought this would be a really good time to read a story to you all about Shabbat, and especially I want to give a call out to the kids at Hirshhorn Shiv Community Day School. I was supposed to be visiting with them this spring for a big, wonderful day, and it's not going to happen. And they asked if I would read them Baxter. So I'm going to read Baxter, and I want to say thank you to David Goldin, who is the amazing illustrator of this book and created Baxter as you see him here. This is a particularly special book because this book has gone out of print. It's not in print any longer, and so it seemed especially nice to read it, to share it with kids who might not otherwise get a chance to read it. And I'll also say thank you to PJ Library, who has made Baxter so popular and put him out into the world to so many kids. They are an amazing program, and if you are watching this and you do not know about PJ Library and you would like Jewish books in your home, you should get in touch. So, Baxter, the pig who wanted to be kosher. And this was my first Jewish picture book. One fine day, when Baxter was waiting for his bus, an old man sat down beside him and said, "Oh, I wish it was sundown right now." "Why's that?" asked Baxter. He was a curious sort of a pig. "Because it's sundown," said the old man. "The candles gleam and glow and dance while our sweetest voices lift in song." "They do?" asked Baxter. He had never seen a candle dance. And if you are out there right now and you would like to try, I suggest that you be a candle dancing. "Certainly," said the old man. "Tonight is the beginning of Shabbat, the day of rest. And so we make a special dinner. We light the candles, sing our thanks, and raise a glass surrounded by those we love best." "Wow," said Baxter. "That does sound like fun. That sounds terrific." "It is terrific," said the man as his bus pulled up. Then he was gone. All week long, Baxter thought about the old man's words. The candles gleam and glow and dance, while our sweetest voices lift in song. So the following Friday, Baxter hurried back to the bus stop. But the old man was nowhere to be seen. Instead, Baxter found a younger man wearing a long white apron. What do you think that guy maybe does for a living? After a while, Baxter cleared his throat. "I wonder, sir, do you know anything about Shabbat dinner?" "I should hope so," said the man in the apron. "Oh, good," said Baxter. "Will you tell me how I can be part of it?" The man in the apron stared. "You? A pig? Part of Shabbat dinner? That's impossible." "Why?" asked Baxter. "You're not kosher," said the man in the apron. "Kosher?" asked Baxter. "What's kosher?" But just then the bus arrived. So I think it's safe to assume that the man in the apron is some kind of a grocer or a butcher. That night, Baxter happened to be at the grocery store when he noticed a jar on the very top shelf. And here's that jar. "Kosher," read the big block letters across the jar of pickles. Why, Baxter loved pickles. That week, Baxter ate pickles. Pickles and pickles and pickles. Pickle sandwiches and pickle soup. Pickles for breakfast and pickles in bed. On Friday, he arrived at the bus stop smelling of vinegar and lugging his jar. But this time, there was a woman in a large hat sitting on the bench. When Baxter sat down beside her, she wrinkled her nose and scooched away from him. "What's with the pickle juice?" she asked. "I found kosher," Baxter said proudly. "Mazel tov," said the woman in the large hat. "So what?" "So," he said, "do you think I'm kosher yet?" The woman in the large hat just laughed. "Pickles can dress up a sandwich or brighten a day. They're good, but they're not that good." Sadly, Baxter set down his jar. So Baxter just desperately wants to become kosher so he can go to Shabbat dinner, and nothing's working. The next day, Baxter returned to the grocery store. "Excuse me, sir," he said to the store manager, "do you have anything else kosher? The pickles were delicious, but I'm afraid they didn't quite do the trick." The manager pointed Baxter toward an enormous pile of fresh bread. And what kind of bread is this, guys? It says kosher challah. I wish we had challah tonight. Baxter had never tasted raisin challah before. 5 loaves later, and sick to his little round stomach, he moaned, "Oh, I must be kosher by now. Maybe even a little too kosher." Later that day, Baxter arrived at the bus stop and found the old man had returned. "Shalom," said the old man. "Hello," said Baxter. "I'm glad you're here. I've learned so much, all about pickles and challah. What do you think? Am I kosher yet?" The old man looked puzzled. "You want to be kosher?" Baxter nodded. "Well, now I've heard it all," said the old man. "But a pig is a pig is a pig. It's too bad you aren't a cow. Cows can be kosher." All week long, Baxter practiced mooing. He acquired a handy set of horns. He cultivated a taste for clover. By Friday, he felt fairly certain he was nearly bovine. And if you do not know what bovine is, that is a very fancy word for cow-like. So the next time you were talking about cows, be like, "They're very bovine." But this time, when he got to the bus stop, nobody was there. He waited and waited, but nobody came. He mooed once more for good measure. Finally, dejected, he took off his horns and let out a deep sigh. But just then, he felt a tap on his shoulder. Looking up, Baxter found a woman with a big book standing above him. The woman said, "Hello, I'm Rabbi Rosen. Can I help you?" "Oh, I only wish you could," blurted Baxter, "but I fear it's hopeless. A pig is a pig is a pig. I'll never be kosher." The rabbi gasped. "Why on earth would you want to be kosher?" "I want to be kosher," explained Baxter, "so that I can be part of Shabbat dinner. I gorged on pickles. I stuffed myself with challah. I mooed and grazed and wore these silly horns for days, but nothing's working." "But," said the rabbi, "why would you want to get eaten?" "Eaten? Me?" Baxter looked up sharply. "Who said anything about getting eaten? I want to see the candles gleam and glow and dance. I long to lift my sweetest voice in song. Isn't that what Shabbat dinner is all about?" The rabbi burst into laughter. "Yes, those things are important, it's true. But my little pink friend, there has been a terrible misunderstanding. Although you're not kosher to eat and never will be, everyone's welcome at Shabbat dinner." Then the rabbi opened her book and rifled through it. "See," she said, "look right here. It is a mitzvah to welcome a stranger, and you, my friend, are certainly strange. So I'd be most grateful if you'd join me for Shabbat dinner tonight." Baxter beamed. "Oh, thank you," he said. "Thank you very much." And so, at last, Baxter the pig watched the candles gleam and glow and dance. And so he raised his sweetest voice in song. And he had a marvelous time. Though it must be admitted, he made rather a mess of his kugel. The end. So, that's Baxter, and that's how he celebrated Shabbat. And I would just welcome you all to take a breath tonight and light the candles and say the blessings, if that's your thing, or celebrate it however you choose to celebrate it. But in this funny time, enjoy what you have around you. And I wish you all very, very well. And I will be back with other stories, including some other Jewish picture books, on my YouTube feed. And I'm just sending out a blessing for everyone this week.